So, as I had intimated, I ordered some big boat lights once they caught my eye to throw them on to the Recoil, and I have completed that. It is the least intrusive way I could have installed them. I'm going to end up peeling these caps off and having a black 3D printed shroud in, aerodynamically, fairing, thank you, to give it a less abrupt start and ending. But I've got the lights. I've got some cleanup to do on this. I just hot glued the hell out of it. So if they work, great. If not, I'll rip them off, and it's only $10 for the pair of those. $8 because I had a discount and free shipping. So it works good. I've got the speaker issue I had with this resolved. I think the firmware in here's got a bit buggy, but I've got all the programming done. So obviously steering, if I go right, it'll turn the boat right. If I go left, it'll turn the boat left. I've got 3 different rates set up. And that goes for the throttle too. So I've got a little bit of glue, hot glue to put on here to seal the holes where the wires penetrated the gunnel step. I don't know what the hell this part's called, but yep, I'll seal that up to keep water out from within the cabin of the boat. And I've also installed an obnoxious horn inside here to use up another channel on the radio because I could. So this adhesive is the 3M VHB adhesive, and it's good except for the very beginning and end. That just needs to go away and have a little 3D printed shroud fairing on there to give a nice sleek entrance and transfer to the lights. So at any rate, plenty bright. Should be able to allow me to operate the thing even if it starts to get dusk out or worse. I did yank out the prop shaft, lube that all up, put Loctite on the grub screws that are on here and on the collet inside. I've got this adjusted so that it breaks away with a bit of force. That helps prevent the transom from getting ripped off if the boat hits a branch, hits something low underwater like a turtle or a rock, or comes up onto shore unexpectedly, which hopefully that won't happen. Obviously I've not trimmed the trim tabs yet. Those will be done and tuned the first few times this thing is operated out on the water. It's the only thing I don't like, but I understand the reasoning for it. The 4 screws. So this is a big thing volume-wise, but it's very, very light. and it's what provides an obnoxious amount of noise. And then I'm using a RC controlled MOSFET switch here to fire that, and also to fire the lights. This draws, I think, 80 milliamps. These draw a couple hundred milliamps. So less than half an amp total for the lighting. And that's fine. I'm not, looking to race this thing at Mach 9 from wide open throttle from first trigger pull to the time the low voltage cutout kicks in. I've got an ER8 in here. I ripped out the Spektrum receiver. That was a 3-channel. I'm not using 8 channels. Right now I'm only using 4 of the channels. The throttle, steering, and then the 2 for the lights. Channel 5 is arming, but I can map, 9, 10, 11 through 16 to those pins, so I don't really lose a channel just for arming. So I've got 4 more channels to play with. I did set up on here, not that I'll ever do it on this, but I've got the joystick assembly wired in and configured here for panning and for tilting. That'll go on the ground vehicle for the truck when I put a video transmitter on there. This has, I am off, okay. This has S-bus input, so my head tracker receiver can get affixed here. And then it'll be a low profile thing. It'll only stick out like about yay much. It's a PCB that's about that wide, about that tall, and obviously just 1 circuit board thick. So I'll have a little case here to hold that. And then what I'll have this set up to do is the head tracker, when I move my head around, will control these pan and tilt servos outputs. And then if I do it manually, the manual will override whatever's coming in on the head tracker. So it's all easy enough to program in here. I do have telemetry set up on here, so I know what my battery voltage is. I get signal quality both from the receiver as well as from the transmitter. This is an arm indication. When it's full on, it's armed. Disabled. And off, and I'll relabel that at some point here, and then obviously receiver battery. And then this is the remote controls battery here. And I've got it tracking not only the current battery, but also maximum battery and minimum battery. That way, as I'm driving this thing around and I'm romping on the throttle, I can see what kind of voltage sag I get. And then this here is the signal strength. I just chose number 1 for now, but I can set up another screen that has 1 on the left and the second receiver on the right, because this is a diversity receiver. So I've got one of the antennas sticking up in the mast here, which will be the primary that gets used, because the second one I've got set up is actually here, and I have it taped underneath the motor. And what that will allow is when the boat's, if it flips upside down, which is inevitably it will, in order to right it, I've got to obviously modulate the throttle from reverse to forward. And yeah, here, let's do it this way. And because of that mass that's on this motor, and it's an outrunner, obviously, it's got a lot of inertia. So when it's spinning and I reverse it or go the opposite direction, it's going to impute torque on the rest of the boat, which will flip it over. Now, would these things affect that? I don't know. We'll find out. Like I say, they can be removed easy enough if they prove detrimental.
Disabled.
The horn, I've got it obviously just hot glued to the lid because I didn't want to punch any more holes in this than I already have. Got one for this light and then two little holes here for the wires for feeding the quote-unquote neon LEDs. And
Lights on.
plenty bright.
Lights off.
So that's that. I'll stop talking. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.